All right, Sabrina, you want to start it off?
Yeah, sure. So today is September 1st. First day of September. I'm sorry, I'm like really shaky because I'm on albuterol for inhaler for my cough. So I just took it. I'm like, nee. So I apologize if I'm like, I just feel like.
Because you do crack cocaine.
I feel like I'm nee. So anyways, so thank you all for coming on the call. What we're going to kind of try to do is start these calls on Tuesday nights, not because Scandal's on Thursdays, but maybe a little bit of the reason why. So we don't have to battle the TV. No, but I think just starting off the week earlier is a little bit easier, and it kind of helps you reach your goal, because Thursday's usually the goal that you can rank advance or hit your points or whatever the case may be. So I thought it'd be easier to kind of get it in Tuesday, and Kelly and I were messaging back and forth about that. So and what we're going to do is each week we're going to try to find a new person or like an additional person to kind of have a topic to talk about. Like this week, Kelly's going to talk about Shakeology and her like passion and how she talks about it. She'll go into more on that. And before the call, we'll also talk about just kind of the game plan for the month and promotions and whatnot. So since it's the first of the month, I think you all saw that PiYo was on sale for $140, and so it was a 3-day refresh, and then they have the Kickstart pack, which is both the PiYo and the 3-day refresh, which is awesome because we have PiYo Kelly. And for those of you who don't know why we call Kelly PiYo Kelly, she's going to be on the infomercial.
I don't know that yet.
When they approached her like many moons ago, I'm like, oh my God, PiYo Kelly, she's so famous.
Actually, ironically, really quick, my time hop told me I finished PiYo a year ago today.
So see?
Yeah, really crazy.
So that's why we call her PiYo Kelly. So that's basically that. But what I wanted to talk to you also about with the promotions is that I got a message earlier from one of the other coaches and saying, I haven't even done PiYo that much. I feel funny promoting it. And this is just like my advice for everybody, and just my experience, is that you don't have to, like, you could do the workouts and show your videos and whatever, and I knew PiYo was going to be the new one because certain coaches were like all of a sudden doing PiYo. I'm like, I bet that'll be the next promotion. But the best thing I can advise is you don't want to like put, what's the term when you say put a circle in a square peg or vice versa? You don't want to fit the program to what the special is to what you want to sell somebody or what you are. Like for me, and I'll give you my examples, that I really promote and I talk a lot about the 21-day fix because I think most people need help with food, and I've gone through it and I had the best experience with it. So that works for me. But I've sold PiYo, I've sold Insanity Max 30, I've sold different things, but I talk to the people. So don't feel just because PiYo is the promotional thing of the month that you have to become this yoga, PiYo, Pilates like person. You keep doing what you're doing. Don't be nervous about that. The benefit of having a promotion like PiYo is if that someone's interested in just Shakeology, you can easily say, hey, for $10 more, you can try a new program, or hey, for $10 more, you become a discount coach with this awesome program. There's a lot of ways you can play it. So just keep in mind, you don't have to like force this program into what you need it to be. I mean, Kelly, and we always joke around, this is an awesome month for Kelly because she could talk about it, but she doesn't have to a lot of people still like the 21-day fix. A lot of people want to do size because it's so much fun. There's just a lot to it. So again, just kind of keep it real with, I'm sorry. I'm like a hot mess. And this is like,
where's your inhaler?
I can't use it. Honestly,
Kidding.
Oh my gosh.
This is why when you're sick, you don't teach 4 Insanity classes in a week. So now I can't teach it all. But the point of the story is just keep it real with that. The other thing I don't have it written down, but I'll post in the team page just kind of like where I'm going with certain challenge groups and what days and stuff like that. So if you guys want to like talk about it, you can go from there. So that's really that. Are there any questions? I know Team Cup is over, and I kind of hate Team Cup because I think it's stupid, for lack of better term. Because honestly, like, you're going to keep doing your thing anyways. I'm not going to, like, whatever. I don't need a selfie stick. All already have one.
I was just gonna say you got one.
I know. I used it for Summit. Are there any questions on anything? Are we good? Okay, so I'm gonna leave it, let Kelly talk. And again, next week we'll have another call on Tuesdays at 9, and we'll have another topic of conversation, and I will post the calendar of like events and speakers and whatnot. So take it away. I'm gonna mute myself so you don't hear like.
Actually, it's really quiet. I don't hear any feedback. Okay, so hi. Pretty much, we had a call. It wasn't last week, right? We took last week off, the week before that. And we kind of, I don't even know how we got on the topic. We were doing the book call, and here I am going off on my little tangent about Shakeology, and Sabrina was like, whoa, you make me want to have Shakeology. We need to have a call. So I think when I first started as a coach, obviously, like I had a pretty good transformation kind of right off the bat. So people were automatically, talking with me. But my struggle was all of a sudden I had these coaches, and a lot of them are on this call. And I'm supposed to show them what I do. Well, I'm at this point, I'm like, I don't know. Right. And so what I've kind of learned throughout this whole course over the last few months was just that the one thing, because the one question that I get from all of the coaches and just anybody is what do you say about the money issue? And for me, this is kind of that problem, because I was like, well, I never really have an issue with the money talk. Like, it's just not an issue for me. I still let people, people are like, let me think about it. And people need to go back and do their own research. Like, that doesn't mean that they're saying no. That just means they need to Google it. Let's be honest, and let them Google it. Who cares? As long as you showed them the value of Shakeology and you showed how much you truly believe in it, then they're going to believe you over some random, blog post that they read on IHateTheWorld.com, right? So I'm just, trying to be open and honest with them. And if there's something about Shakeology that I don't like, aka the tropical strawberry vegan tastes like butt, I'm going to tell them, like, hey, it tastes like butthole, FYI, I'm not going to lie to them. But at the end of the day, I'm still showing them, there are Shakeology flavors out there that taste great, and you're going to feel really freaking good drinking it. And here's why. So I know I kind of posted an example of what I typically do. But basically, the whole point of this call is you've got to think of it like this. And this is actually something I learned from Shay. It was one of her videos. I don't know if anybody has seen it, but she had a really good explanation. All right, so
I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just thinking, people might not know who Shay is. Just kind of give her like a background of who you're talking about, just in case.
Sorry. So Shay Stanford is all of our upline. She is a 15 superstar diamond. She is an amazing coach, and they call her Shakeology. Like, get it? Haha. Her name's Shay. Shakeology, and she's like literally the Shakeology guru. And so myself and I think Jama, we were in like the same training, I'm pretty sure. And Sabrina, you got coached by her, right? So we all went through her training. Kayla, and I know Jen did too. And so she will teach us all about Shakeology. And I truly think that the main reason I don't have a problem with this money issue is because I show the value of Shakeology. And it may have just been, I don't even know what day or training session it was for her, but she basically talks about, she compares it as to purses, right? So we all could go to TJ Maxx and we could all go buy this purse that's $20. It's cute. We like it. and, you know, it does its job. It looks maybe similar to the Michael Kors purse that you want, but there's that $20 bag there. But at the end of the day, we really want that Michael Kors bag, right? Because it's Michael Kors, and we're willing to fork out that money because of the value that is behind that designer bag. Same goes for cars. Okay, my Chevy Cruze works exactly the same as a BMW, right? But people buy the BMW because of the value that they see behind BMW. They're better cars, they're built well. You know, this spiel essentially that they give is what you're buying into. At the end of the day, it's a car. It's got four, you know, it does the same exact thing. It's going to get you to point A to point B. Maybe drives a lot faster, but that's, you know, just an added benefit. And so you can kind of think the same way about Shakeology. And it's up to us to portray that value on why Shakeology is as freaking amazing as it is. And so how do we do that? How do we show the value of Shakeology? What are we supposed to say? Know your facts. I can't stress enough. If you go in there and you're like, oh yeah, it's just a meal replacement, it's loaded with 70, you know, and you just give them the basic bullshit version of what Shakeology is, they can go and read that on Google, right? They don't care. They want to know like why you like Shakeology and what is in Shakeology that really, you know, differs from all the other products out there. There's so many products. There's herbal, and half the products are half the price. So we've got to be able to show them that they're getting what they're paying for. And here's why it's this much money. And so if we do a really good job at splurting out these facts, yes, I still mention that there's 70 superfoods in there. I do. Because you know what? It's a really good fact. And I do mention that, what else? What's something else that I talk about? It's 70 superfoods. You know, I tell them about the flavors. I tell them that there's not, you know, no artificial anything in there, no sweeteners, colors. What else? No sweeteners, colors, anything artificial. It's, you know, 100% natural. And so I do say, but those things are like the basics, right? Those are the things that we all, like you said, like I said, go onto Google and you can read it. Now, some of the things that so anyways, sorry, I had to mute some feedback. I pretty much just will tell them a lot of different things. In that post that I talked about, or I posted in Energize, I even talked about, this was in Darren, I don't know how to say his last name, the guy who created Shakeology, Olin, I think it is. He said, you know, he mentioned a fact in his call that he had with Shay, with Team Refinery, which is also Shay's team, for those of you who don't know. And he mentioned that our soil has been treated or tested and that we're macronutrient deprived. So all of our food that we eat is already lacking the nutrients that it's automatically supposed to have. Okay, boom. To me, my brain exploded. I was like, whoa. Okay, so we are just like automatically nutrient deprived just because of where we live. Just because we live here and our soil sucks, that we're still not getting the same nutrients. So I added that in to my spiel. And I another thing that I like to do, you know, on top of throwing facts, the number two thing I do is control the conversation. You don't want to have, you know, a fact here, a fact there, maybe a flavor here, and maybe I'll talk about the diet cycle over here. No, you want it to be, you want it to be totally in your control. So how do you do that? If that means spitting out a ton of information at this person and letting them take the time to sit down when they have time to read it. And I have had people say like, okay, I need to go back and read through this again. I know you mentioned a lot. I'll message you in a little bit. Okay. Oh, well, if you're overwhelming them, that's okay. Because at the end of the day, they're coming to you and they're talking to you about Shakeology for a reason. And that is for you to show them the value of what it is and why we love it. So you need to know your facts, put out as much information as you possibly can at once. Meaning, and you obviously don't want this to sound like all over the place. You want to maybe have a script or reread it. What I posted in Team Energize is pretty much the script that I keep in my head. Every person is a little bit different, so I don't like to copy paste. I literally am the person that will sit there and take the 10 minutes to type it out, but that's just what works for me, because the way I talk to this girl, who I don't know, I've never met her, found her on social media, is just going to be a little bit different than the way I'm going to talk to a friend. I'm going to talk to a friend a little bit more casual, right? This girl is a little bit more formal, and she's just flat out, hey, I want the information. I'm really interested. Tell me what's going on. And so that's what I'm going to do. I still use the same kind of format in a way where, and I talk about misconceptions. These are all the very first couple of bullet points. It's always misconceptions, the facts about Shakeology. I talk about the diet cycle. Most of the time, and I know that Sabrina, I should mention this too, Sabrina did talk about this before. When we get to Shakeology, that's after I've already gotten a feel for what are they looking for? Why are you asking me about Shakeology? What have you done in the past that's worked, not worked? This girl, Melissa, her name is, that is from Canada, the one that I posted in Team Energize about. She had already told me that she was doing a low-carb diet, and then it didn't work, and then she got really sick as she reintroduced carbs into her life. Her body wasn't processing them. So I kind of had an idea of what was happening, and she did touch upon it again as the conversation went throughout. Oh my gosh, sorry, my dog. Sorry. She's seriously scratching at me for like the whole time. So I always get to know them first. There is a video that Shay Stanford posted, and it's the 15 probing questions. I remember as a new coach, I sat down and watched this video like 3 or 4 times. I can post it. I thought about recreating it just to possibly, I don't know, put my face on it. But she does a really good job at giving examples of questions, how to get that conversation going, and not just like, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? And she kind of like eases her way into the conversation. It's, I think, a 30-minute video, but she has amazing questions. I took notes on them. I could always just post what the questions are too. So anyways, that's what I do initially. And then I start going into the facts. I talk about the diet cycle. I talk about misconceptions. And I also talk about, and then I do the basic stuff, and that's included in the facts: superfoods, flavors, 100% natural, no artificial anything, all of that. But the biggest thing I do is talk about the diet cycle too. This is, oh wait, Sabrina, just go.
I didn't want to be rude, so I messaged her like, can I jump in really quick?
Yeah.
I kind of want to just kind of like piggyback off a couple of things Kelly said, because you're totally going right. I was thinking like, I wanted to add that. I wanted to add that because we've talked, and sometimes when we talk, we get into like deep thought conversations. The first thing, I think, just to kind of go back to the beginning of a conversation when someone's asking about Shakeology is, and this is what she was saying, is I always say, oh, what interests you about weight loss or about the nutritional part of Shakeology? And 99% of the times they say like it's weight loss. Sometimes just like for nutrition. I've had someone who's like, I don't need to lose weight. I need help with nutrition. And then you can kind of steer, like how Kelly said, like be prepared with your information. Exactly what Kelly says. And when, I just did something bad with my computer. Hold on a second, everybody. Sorry. And then you can kind of lead the facts with that way, the way Kelly was, explaining. So for example, if someone needs for weight loss, you can go into the whole fact of, the nutrition, and you can explain how it's helped you and give them stories, kind of going that way out. If someone's saying I'm doing for nutrition, you kind of can get deeper into that conversation. Well, what do you mean? Like, maybe you don't eat enough vegetables. Maybe someone has a thyroid issue. You can talk about experiences. I've had someone who has reflux issues. You can tell them stories about that. The point of the story is Kelly, when she's saying know your facts, it's kind of support where you're going to go with everything. My strategy with her, with Kelly's, is a little different. I don't so much give as many facts right away. And if I do, I actually have a script. I copy and paste it in my notes. I guess that's the difference between me and Kelly. I have something I specifically say and respond to. Sorry. But what she's saying, I just was like thinking like, oh yeah, but this could, we were talking, because Kelly and I were talking about things she does. I'm like, yeah, and we do this, and it's a great conversation. So don't feel that you have to regurgitate exactly what Kelly's script is. And I think that's what she's saying. Yeah. Make it you, and having a you want to be not robot, whoever, you want to be kind of, you. So sorry, that was all I was thinking.
No, yeah. And going on with that though too, like the reason I talked about the diet cycle with her is because that's exactly what she was going through, was the diet cycle. Obviously, somebody who doesn't need to lose weight and they're just doing it strictly for health benefits, they don't need to hear about the diet cycle. That's why for me, I can't do scripts, because every person's just so different, and I get literally all forms of life that it's just too broad for me. I'll get somebody who's like super old, and I'll get somebody who's like 20. So it just totally depends. And this is just what works for me. When I say control the conversation, it means know what, like Sabrina was saying, know where you're going to want to go with this, because you know what they're going to ask. Come on. It's going to be the same conversation 100 million times. I'm not kidding, guys. It's going to be a little bit different. You're going to have to tailor it a little bit to each person, because somebody may have a thyroid problem. Somebody may just want to be healthy. Someone may have over 100 pounds to lose. It's just all a little bit different. But at the end of the day, we're still talking about why we love Shakeology. Another thing that I like to talk about is the fact that Beachbody fully stands behind Shakeology. The fact that they have a empty bag policy where you can return an empty bag after 30 days to get a full refund. What company lets you try something for 30 days and then be like, oh, you don't like it? Okay, well, I'll give you your money back. I mean, they stand behind it. I mean, they're losing profit for that to happen. So to me, I like to make that as a point, because there's so many companies, especially in today's world, that don't stand behind their product, and they just are out there to get the money, like let's talk about that Monsanto thing. But, she just, this girl, says that she even says, like, I was skeptical on the shakes, and, you just kind of have to, I mean, this is pretty much it though. I mean, there's not much more. Listen, when people talk about Shakeology, listen for the new facts, listen for things that, maybe something that you can add in, like the fact that our soil's, nutrient deprived. People don't know that. And so when we come out and we sound like we're educated and that we know Shakeology like the back of our hand, that's kind of what makes people be like, whoa, oh my gosh, like you really do love this stuff. Like you really do believe in this product. And because you're telling me all of these facts, that's the proof. Like you're showing me that this is the value of it, you're true. So when we're, we feel like we're spilling facts at them, but they feel like we know our shit and that we took the time to read more than it's just 70 superfoods, no artificial anything, right? So when we know a little bit more in depth, that's when they're like, it kind of, that light clicks on for them. And that's where the value comes in, is that passion by us knowing the deeper facts and the deeper roots of everything is where that value comes in. I'm totally going to call you out, but Amanda, hey.
I'm going to jump in real quick because I know you're going to ask her. The best conversation I've ever had about Shakeology was when I was trying to buy it with Amanda, because Amanda says I was one of her hardest sells. So I just messaged Kelly and I'm like, or earlier, I said, Amanda's actually phenomenal of speaking to people about Shakeology and how she runs her conversation. So sorry, that's why I was going to tell you, Kelly. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kelly. Ask her what you were going to ask her.
Well, I kind of want to hear what your thoughts are and what
Thank you guys, first of all. It's funny because for some reason, my whole thing about selling Shakeology is kind of like a confidence thing, okay? So, for example, I was talking to two girls today. They were I'm doing this like workout group in the mornings, and there was these two girls, and we started talking about it, and they didn't ask me one time what the price was, because the way that I carry the conversation is like, you need to have this. And like, why would you not have this? And I think if you lead with just like this, just how do I explain? Like, lead with this confidence, like you like put it on, like make it seem like they would be crazy to not invest the money in this product.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So like, and then I definitely do, I'm similar to Sabrina. Like, I'll ask questions. I want to know what your goals are, and then I'll tailor my conversation around Shaco according to what your goals are. So like, for example, today, and I'm just using this because it's fresh in my mind, one of the girls was like, she's like, I can't stay away from sweets. And she's like, and I really like bread and carbs and stuff. And I was like, oh, perfect. I'm like, because Shakeology saves away those cravings. And I said, I really can tell, like the days that I skip over my shake, if it's like a weekend or something, I said, I am craving sweets all day long. And, I said, this will really help you. And so you just kind of like, I feel like the more you go into it, like in such detail, like right off the bat, the more you're going to turn them off. And make it very, factual and kind of like, you need to have this. Like the price is like secondary, because this is something that you need to have. This is going to get you to your goal. This is going to take your health from here to here. And then obviously, like if it comes up, then I always say this, and people just kind of back off. I say, actually, it's, it comes out to about $4 and change a day. And when you think about it, when you go to the grocery store, you're not buying 30 days worth of groceries, right? So, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around $129. But when you really break it down, it's just you're paying for 30 meals in one shot. And then if I need to, I go into, where else can you go get a super healthy meal for $4? And I was like, you can't. At least in South Florida, you can't. So, I really just, the one thing that I really want to kind of drive home is just lead the conversation and have confidence. Like, just, it's almost like, what do you mean? Like, how could you not buy Shakeology? Like, you're missing out if you're not drinking Shakeology every single day.
Right. I totally, to going off that, when I say like, know your facts, that's part of reason why I'm like, it's confidence is the missing word, I think, was. But in order to have the confidence, you have to know your facts. You have to know what Amanda was talking about. You have to know the details of it, and you have to be able to think quickly on your feet. Like she said, she's got carb/sugar cravings. So Amanda was like, boom, I know my facts. I know that, this Shakeology will take care of it. And so Go
I
ahead.
just want to say one more thing. That is absolutely true what Kelly said. I guess one of the things that gives me the confidence to talk about it is that I've studied the ingredients. I know what's in it. And then another thing that I want to add, because, people are starting to slowly come around and they're becoming a lot more conscious of what they're putting in their body. And, you see a lot more people shopping at farmers markets or maybe like a Whole Foods. And so I will also rattle off some ingredients that are more, common to people. So I'll be like, wheatgrass, chia seeds, goji berries, I'll rattle off a few ingredients that will make people be like, oh, wow, I want them to be impressed, because that's exactly what happened with me. When Shay was talking to me about Shakeology, Shay's actually my upline coach also, like Kelly said. At that time in my life, I was literally going to Whole Foods and buying 10 different things that cost me a fortune, and I was making my shakes. And she started rattling off some names of some ingredients, and I was blown away. And I'm like, wait, I can get all this in one shot? And I was like, sign me up. So, I would rattle off, if it gets to this point, rattle off, chia seeds, everybody knows chia seeds, and you could talk about goji berries and wheatgrass and flax and just things that they know. I would definitely do that as well.
Hands down. I think that
That was really good. Sorry to interrupt. You didn't do that for me.
Oh, sorry. Well, I've come a long way.
I feel totally cheated, but you didn't do that for me. But now I know.
But I think that was awesome to hear Amanda, though, because I really think that the missing word is confidence. And if it's knowing your facts and showing that, you know your facts. And by saying this is what I know and this is why I know it, that's showing them the value, that by doing that, you're making them feel like, how are you not on Shakeology, right? How have you not tried this stuff yet? Everybody's doing it. Sorry. But I think that's pretty much everything that I have for it. I think every person is different, and to remember that every person is different, it's very important. And to be you, don't try to be me. Obviously, I'm way different than Sabrina, and Sabrina's different than Amanda. And, we're all just totally different, people. And sometimes I'll just be like, so tell me what's going on with your life. I'm totally informal sometimes. And other times I'm super hello, I don't know you. But it all depends. And it's just, if you show that and don't feel I know sometimes people are like, well, I want to be honest and truthful. But honestly, fake it till you make it. I know. And it's not, no one's telling you be a fake person, but what am I trying to
answer? Say you don't know the answer.
Yeah.
And I think I was just going to say is, I think what's cool about our page and having an upline and having a team is that there's plenty of times that you'll see us post mid conversations with people on Shakeology and post it and ask. And if you know somebody I know if I had a runner, I would tag Jama. If I had, someone who's really into health and the ingredients, I probably would tag Amanda because I know she knows it. Or if there's a thyroid or whatever the issue, I would tag Kel. There's just, you have so many resources. You may not know who everybody is, but if you have the questions, what's awesome about our group is you post it on our page and someone's going to help you. Someone's going to be there. It might not be within a couple of minutes. I feel like someone's always there answering. So Kelly's right. Fake it till you make, if you don't know, be like, hold on, let me ask.
Right.
Totally.
Yes, or just tell them the truth. If you don't like something, yeah, I don't like it. Like I said, I will tell people I think that the strawberry is but that,
I like it.
See, other people like it. But other, Amanda Sarant, I don't know if she's on here. She hates chocolate. She hates the chocolate Shakeology, but clearly it's my favorite. So everybody's different. You just have to know, do your research, and have confidence. That's all about the confidence, quite honestly. And kind of they're coming to you, right? The conversation is with you. And so they're talking to you about this stuff for a reason. So just remember that. And that's literally all I got, guys.
Thank you, Callie. That was awesome.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I was gonna say, does anybody have any like stories that happen? And you might, I don't know if you want to unmute the phones, Kelly, just in case someone has to ask. But if you guys had like a story, you know, of something that happened, positive or even negative, with someone interested in psychology,
Take a shower.
let us know. Anybody?
What?
Anybody?
No.
Well, I'll give you. I'm actually in the midst of conversation with somebody with Shakeology, and she just had a baby. She was in the hospital for health issues, and I just kind of, you know, it's kind of funny because you want to draw a fine line of asking questions but not getting too personal. Depending, let them lead the conversation with that. And it turns out she's taking a bazillion and jillion supplements that are like what Amanda said. Like you could like impress with all the names that are in there. And she was telling them what she was taking, and I'm like, well, this is kind of like a cheaper alternative. So that was just kind of cool that came up today in a text message. But I don't know if anybody else has stories or thoughts.
I have a question.
Go, girl.
I do. Hi. So I think I've gotten a bunch of people to do trials, hence all the packet requests. And then they'll try it and they love it. And then we'll get to the price conversation again. And I'm pretty good at convincing, but I get people that get stuck there. They're like, I feel really good. I love it. I love trying it, but I just can't justify that much money. And I like the comment about 30 meals in a bag, but I feel like I keep getting stuck there.
Do you offer discount coaching?
Mm-hmm. Preferred customer? Yes. But they're just stuck. Like, I love it, but I can't justify it. And I'll explain you can postpone like after the first month. You don't have to get it every 30 days. They're flexible. I'll do that whole thing, but they're just stuck.
Have you said just try? I know Jama said this in one of our calls a while back, and she was like, normally Jama will tell people like, just try it for a month. Like, just give it a month. Have you tried that?
I mean, not so bluntly, but I guess that could be the next comment is it made you feel great. Just try it and let's see how it goes kind of.
That's the bottom of the bag guaranteed thing.
Mm-hmm.
You could take a try for a month. Another thing that I ask is I said, well, where are you replacing it? A breakfast, a lunch, a dinner? Because I say like my groceries have gone down, which is totally true. Because I'll have, I have mine for breakfast, but I don't snack as much because of it. I definitely don't. If you're having for a lunch or dinner, it's a no-brainer. It's going to be cheaper. Yeah. So you can kind of see. You can kind of see. I'm seeing things. I kind of see where they're using it and kind of see how it's going to help their budget. And sometimes you just kind of have to be like, well, think about it, step away, and like go back to wait a couple days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna piggyback on that one because if they do it for breakfast, you can also say that. Do you go to Starbucks? Because I went to Starbucks a lot and I don't really go anymore.
Me
So
either.
so you can kind of say, hey, I used to spend $5 on a latte, literally 4 times a week. And that was before my Shakeology. So that's another way you can piggyback it in there for the price.
Another
like
thing,
that. It is a breakfast conversation, I think.
Another thing someone's posted.
That's when I have it.
Yeah, no, another thing is saving on supplements if they do supplements. Doesn't more medicines like cold medicine stuff like that. I mean, it sounds stupid. Like, listen, you're gonna see a complete lifestyle change that you're not. With that said, look at me today. But normally I'm fine. But think about all the things that you're going to save. And I think the huge thing is you don't buy as many snacks. You don't. And like Jamie and everybody said, like coffee. You're not gonna stop. Like if you're even this morning, I'm like handing Anthony a shake, and he's like, I'm like, oh, when are you gonna have your coffee? He's like, oh, I'll just pack it. Like it was just kind of a conversation. You don't think about having a morning coffee. Also, like you have to have it in the afternoon. Whatever, get to plan it out.
All right, I'll try.
It was a good question.
Yeah, no, it was. Because it's tough when they say, and sometimes you just have to let them go. You just kind of have to, okay.
They come back.
And they come, they sure.
They always, yeah, Goldie came back. I think everybody, Jen came back. Everybody.
Back. Literally, I've got some girl in size a year later. So.
I've had people a year later too. It's kind of, you're like, whoa.
It happens. It so happens. Another thing too, just real quick, for any of the newer coaches, if you're looking to get some conversations starting, this has nothing to do with anything, but it's something that I started doing for somebody I'm doing a virtual assistant for. She sends birthday messages every day. And I don't know, like, why didn't I think about doing this before? It seems so simple. But she sends a personal message. Hey, hope you're happy, hope you have a fabulous birthday or happy birthday or whatever. Do you have anything fun planned today? And so it's just kind of a way to go in. I mean, there's birthdays every day on Facebook, like we see it, and just kind of go in, send a personal message, and it gets conversations going without it being like awkward, and you can kind of break that ice with a birthday. And that's all I have. That's just a little snippet. Yeah. I did it today, or I did it, was it yesterday for the first time? And some girl I hadn't talked to since high school, which is 8 years ago. She told me that she's pregnant and that she's like, following my journey, and she can't wait to hit me up after she has the baby. And so, but the point is that door's open. After, time passes, I know that I can still keep this conversation going. I can say congratulations to her when she has a baby, and it's not going to be awkward, So I can be like, hey, I haven't talked to you in 9 years. Congratulations. And it's just because I broke that ice. So, okay. That's that. But I'll let you guys all go. Thanks for being on the call. You all are awesome.
I'm so sorry. I'm hanging. If you guys have a topic that you really want, I know the Shakeology price topic was one of the ones you guys really wanted. If you want, you can message me or anybody, your upline coach or whoever, and just say, hey, this is like a topic I'd love to hear more about, and I'll find somebody. Actually, message me because I'll find somebody to align with the call. And I think that Jama's going to be doing a social media one next week? We said. Oh, it was already next. So next week we'll be talking about social media with Jama. Will be talking about probably a lot of Instagram, a little bit of like pages. We'll talk about more of Jama, what we want to do. So that'll be a really good one because she knows a ton of information on her business is like run on social media totally. So it'll be kind of cool. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, Cal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.